Frustrations can be monitored by expectation. If you change your expectation, you will limit your frustration. I expect people to be who they are. Once you teach me who you are, you teach me what to expect. And I'm never disappointed because I never expect above what you advertise. If you advertise you a fool, I expect you to be a fool. And when I need a fool, I'll call you. Come on, somebody. You got power. I'm trying to show you got power. You got power. You got power. They were frustrated because they expected Christ to do something that he never came to do. He didn't tell them he was going to do that. He kept telling them he was going to die. Except a grain of wheat falling to the ground and die, it abide alone. If you destroy this temple in 3 days, I'll raise it back up again. He kept telling them.
It's time to drop it and move forward. You may be a product of your past, but you don't have to be a prisoner of your past.
But it's hard to let go of what you've been holding on to for so long, even if it's not working anymore. It's really hard to let go. It's like, beg you, see it differently. I beg you to let go. It's not normal. It's just old.
Some of you are taking too much time trying to convince people to love you that do not matter. Tolerating and trying to get people engaged that don't matter, that don't care, that are never ever going to help you get into your destiny.
Every single time I hear about an issue, every single time I hear another story of pain, every single time I see a seemingly impossible situation, I smile wryly because I know it is never too late.
Kiss that wrong self-image goodbye. Victory starts in your thinking. Abundance, it starts in our mind. You can't think the same way and expect different results. Start embracing who God says you are. Upset because your plans didn't work out. It's time to kiss some things goodbye. Don't bring bitterness into a new year. Don't bring self-pity, a chip on your shoulder. That was in your past. It doesn't belong in the future. You cannot embrace the new things God has in store as long as you're holding on to the old.
What we think about is really what controls us. This is a control tower. That everything else is a result of how we think. And we can't control everybody else in control of all of our circumstances, but we are going to respond to circumstances in one way or the other. And so what you have to ask is this: what is it that determines what I think? This mind of yours controls everything else in your life.
Are you satisfied with your life as it is? Are you? Is your life giving you what you want? If you had your life to live over again, could you have done more than what you've done thus far? When I ask audiences that, most people agree, yes, I could have done more. I know I could have done more. I've wasted a lot of valuable time. If you're going to lose something, lose money. You can recapture that. Don't lose time. You can't get that back.
Program your mind, because all that you will do or not do, have or not have, accomplish or not accomplish, will be a direct derivative of what's going on inside of your mind. So if you don't get clear thinking on an issue, you won't be able to develop in that area. Look at somebody and say, it's time for a change. Well, what stops us? What stops us from making the changes that we need in our behavior, in our situation? It's the mind.
If you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting. So if you're at a place in your life and you ain't happy with it, you have to change some things. But you have to make a conscientious decision that you're going to change. And it's not dependent on anybody else. It don't matter what your mama think. It don't matter what your coworkers think. It don't matter what your siblings think. It don't matter. This decision is yours and yours alone.
Nothing that's happened to you is a surprise to God. Before He laid out the plan for your life, He already knew every person who would hurt you, every mistake you would make, every loss you would go through. And the good news is, for every setback, God has already arranged to come back. For every disappointment, a new beginning. For every failure, restoration. You have to put your foot down and say, that's it. I may have gone through some disappointments. I may have made some mistakes, But I'm not going to waste the time I have left worried about what I could have done better, upset over what didn't work out. I'm stepping out of the was and I'm coming over into the is. I'm dropping the offense, dropping the failure, dropping the hurt. I'm not living my life with any more baggage. I'm going to live my life free.
We find ourselves announcing our standards to our relatives, our friends, our associates. We shout our beliefs and condemn those who believe any differently, but then we don't walk the talk. We end up acting in a way far different from the beliefs we've shouted. This is inconsistent. This leads to a loss of credibility among those who watch us. And more importantly, this leads to a loss of credibility within ourselves. The only thing worse than one who is inconsistent in applying their self-imposed discipline is one who has never considered the need or the value of discipline at all.
So what kind of courage do you have? Is yours sort of floating between depending on the situation? Or do you know the difference between right and wrong for your life? And you've made up your mind. Our mind is the control tower of our life. All of our decisions are there. And the truth is, whatever we are today is the result of what we've been thinking about all those years. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So if you don't like what's going on around you, maybe you should ask yourself the question, what am I thinking about? What do I think about myself? What do I think about other people?
I want to tell you something today. The moment you make up your mind to get up, you can get up. And no devil in hell, no government, no power, no boss, or anything else can hold you. Once you are free in your mind, you are free.
See, many things we don't do because of the fact we want people to like us. There's some necessary losses in life. When you decide acting in your best interest, you're going to lose some friends. Everybody's not going to approve of you. There's some people that won't like you. Who do you think you are? You're arrogant. What do you think you can do? You're selfish. Thanks, I got that.
Poor thinking habits keeps most people poor. Not poor working habits. Most people work hard, but they don't think hard. The mind is like a factory, a mental factory. And whatever you think about all day long pours ingredients into this mental factory. And that's what builds the economic, social, financial fabric of your life. As you think, so you become. But I think being grateful probably is number one. If you've got a job, you got to be grateful. Say, this isn't the greatest job in the world. Even if it's a transitional job getting you where you want to go, you got to be grateful. You don't have to love your job or be passionate about your job. Just passionate about staying steady, working hard, learning skills, doing this job so well that the next one will be even better, and taking such good care of this opportunity, another one will present itself.
What's next for me? After all of this, I don't think that things just happen. I believe that they happen just. We have a mindset. We don't want to be the same coming out of this. That you want some radical change. That this could be a major defining moment for you. A day that turns your life around.
If you have an extreme desire to wish to be successful, so you can accomplish all you wish to accomplish, be as generous as you'd like to be as strong as you'd like to be. And I think if you say you have to find your passion, people find that a little bit confusing. Where would I find it? And what could I be passionate about? I guess you could start with saying, I'm passionate about providing unusual success for myself and for my family. Then I think the key is to let what you want to accomplish, let that grow. Where at first this is as far as you can see, but if you'll do that, you could say, wow, maybe I could multiply by 2, by 3, and expand my vision, accomplish a lot more.
God places everything he has for you in your imagination. So if you've been dreaming of your own business, if you've been dreaming of a summer home, it's because that's what he got for you. He places everything he has for you in your imagination. And then to quit worrying about how to get it done. The how-to is none of your business. The Bible say, ask, believe, receive. Now you got to be willing to work, but he don't require you to figure it out. The how-to is none of your business.
We all have promises we're standing on. It's easy to believe at first, but what happens when nothing is improving? Before the promise comes to pass, you have to go from I believe to I still believe. You're not discouraged by how long it's taking. You know God is still on the throne. What He promised is on the way. God is looking for I still believe people. All the facts say it's impossible. Your attitude is, that's okay. God can do the impossible. Maybe you tried to accomplish a dream. No doors opened. That's all a part of the process. God didn't give you the dream and not have a way to bring it to pass. God didn't change His mind. He just needs some I still believe faith. Don't get talked out of your dreams. The negative chatter, the people who don't believe in you, the environment you were raised in is not going to stop your destiny. Your time is coming. It's not too late. What God put in your heart is still on the way.
God has a win. He's not making this up as He goes. He's not just responding to your moods, your attitudes, and things your friends say about you. You are not at the mercy of your detractors. You are only at the mercy of the timing of God. God has a watch and a timer is on it, and it's already set. Everything is on schedule. Don't worry about your purpose. Worry about your season. Because when you get in your season, your purpose will be clear.
Now, here's what we know. That people don't do what they know in life, but what they do is they operate within the context of the vision they have of themselves. So one of the first things I ask you to do is I want you to look at your life right now and think about something that's important to you. Think about something that you'd like to have or something you'd like to create for you or your family. Now, one of the first things I want you to do is don't worry about the inner conversation that you're going to have. Don't worry about how you're going to do it. That's going to come. You will find the way. You'll become the kind of person that can attract the people, the resources, in order to make that become reality. But I want you to be mindful of your inner conversation. I remember once I was sitting in an audience and Zig Ziglar, he was giving a speech. And within myself, I said, I can do that. And I leaned over to the guy next to me. I said, how much do they pay him to do that? And he said, $5,000. I said, I know I can do that. And then on the way home, when I was driving back to Miami, Florida, my inner conversation kicked in. And it said, Les Brown, you can't do that. You don't have a college education. You don't have the money. You don't have the contacts. What makes you think that you can make more in 1 hour talking than you've made working for a whole month? How many of you have ever thought about something you wanted to do and you talked you out of it? Raise your hand, please. The wealthiest place on the planet is the graveyard. Because in the graveyard we will find inventions that we never were exposed to, hopes and aspirations that were never acted upon. Because most people allow that inner conversation to keep them from ever pursuing their goals. Why is it that most people don't ever reach their goals or live up to their true potential? One is fear, like the fear of failure. The next is the fear of success. I was working on a major project. I panicked and I walked away from it and gave it to someone else because I didn't believe that I could handle it. That a lot of people become comfortable. They stop wanting anything. They become satisfied. I remember after giving a speech at a major corporation, a gentleman came up to me and he said, you know, that's real great motivation for you young guys, but I've done all my work. I said, oh yes, you've got a lot to give. The fact that you're still here means that your business is not through yet. The other thing that keeps us from reaching our goal is not feeling worthy. Because see, when you don't feel worthy of your goal, you'll begin to unconsciously engage in self-destructive behavior, like procrastinating. Something else that keeps us from reaching our goal, and that is we spend so much time complaining and blaming everybody. I'm reminded of a friend of mine who talked about the fact that one day he was walking by and there was a dog on the porch, and this dog was just moaning and groaning. And he asked the owner, he said, why is this dog moaning and groaning? And the owner said, because he's laying on a nail. He said, well, why doesn't he get off? He said, it's not hurting bad enough for him to get off. How many of you know people who moan and groan and complain about life? They might moan and groan about their job. I'm sick of this job. And never do anything about it. They haven't got to the point where they're sick and tired of being sick and tired. No, that can't get you where you want to go. That cannot create your reality for you. The other thing that keeps most people from realizing their true greatness and their true potential, circumstances.
Are you letting your circumstances talk you out of what God put in your heart? God still wants to bring it to pass, but you have to get in agreement with Him and say, God, I still believe it can happen. I still believe I can start my business. Joel, I tried and it didn't work out. That doesn't mean it's not going to happen. You have to have a made-up mind that you're going to believe until you see that promise come to pass. The odds are against me, but I still believe I can accomplish my dreams. I was raised in dysfunction, but I still believe I can set a new standard.
Given my circumstances, ladies and gentlemen, I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now. No one could have convinced me, given my circumstances, given my background, that I would be doing what I'm doing right now. When I was in 5th grade, I was identified as EMR, labeled educable mentally retarded, and stayed in that category until I got out of high school. But here's what happened. I had an intervention in my life. A man who saw something in me at a time that I did not see something in myself. And he asked me to go up to the board and write something on the board. And I said, I can't do that, sir. He said, why not? I said, go up to the board and write what I'm about to tell you. I said, I can't do that, sir. Why not? I'm educable mentally retarded. He said, don't ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. That once a person's mind is expanded with an idea, it can never be satisfied to going back to where it was. Some of you are going to go back and look at your dreams and brush them off. Whatever goal that you have in mind, I want that to be a goal that will challenge you. What is it that you looked at some point in time and you decided that you couldn't do it? Bring it back out there. How are you going to do it? That will come to you in due time. See, you don't get in life what you want, ladies and gentlemen. You get in life what you are. You've got to begin to take a look at your life and look at where are you right now? What gives your life a sense of fulfillment, a sense of joy? What is it that you could love doing 7 days a week? In all the areas of your life, your professional life, your personal life, your family life, once you begin to determine that, that takes you to the next step. And that is, now you've got to decide that you deserve that. Repeat after me, please. I deserve the best that life has to offer. Shake somebody's hand on your right and left and say, find your purpose. Do you know by actively pursuing your purpose, it could perhaps extend your life? The number one killer of all the diseases we have, heart disease. The truth of the matter is that the majority of people suffer their first major heart attack on Monday morning between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. People getting ready to go to jobs that they don't like. You see, when you're not pursuing your goal, you are literally committing spiritual suicide. You've got to believe in yourself. I was doing work for a major corporation, and they were having a major downsizing. The people that were working there, they approached them and said, listen, we will give you a buyout package of $300,000 if you take it within this time frame. Ladies and gentlemen, only 50% of the people that were eligible took this. If I'd been there, I'd have gone to ask for your check. I would have taken that money so quick and had other people checks. See, ladies and gentlemen, life is too short trying to play it safe. Here's the thing. You can't get out of life alive. So there's no safe position. You can die in the bleachers or you can die on the field. You might as well come out on the field and have a good time, right? So you got to be bold in life.